car 4912. I'm in room 1. Almost had a little anxious moment there. A woman got on the train here, and she also had room 1, car 4912. But the sleeping car attendant put her in room 8 temporarily because that room was unoccupied up to Albany, and that's as far as she's going. She's taking a sleeper to Albany. That's interesting. There's our Power 2 P-32s. .702 and 708 is leading. And this is where all the roomettes are at this end, and the bedrooms are behind me. Here we are. I even have a head in the room. How about that? Some of these view liners you have to go down the hall. Seats both ways. I'm going to be sitting forward in this chair going up to Albany, and then they're going to reverse the train, and then I'll have to sit there. See, I have the thermostat here, attendant call button, got it on high, ceiling lights on and off. I've ridden on a view liner. The only other time I've ridden on a view liner was back in 2003. Came back from Chicago to New York. Oh, here's the menu. Chicken fettuccine Alfredo. I know some engineer who would like to eat that. Pan-Asian meatballs. Being married to an Asian, I should have that, right? Flexible dining menu. And they have wine on the menu. And this is complimentary. I don't have to pay for it. That's it. Choices are somewhat limited, but I think I can probably manage. Curry sauce. Oh, God. That's a new experience for me. Hey, 3:42, we're on our way to Chicago. See the pillows. The bunk is above me. I can kind of do it myself, actually. This is one of the older view liners in that it has a head inside. Otherwise, you have to go down the hall. I would prefer the older one, actually. The conductor on this train is pretty cool. Young fella. Gapping the third rail here. All right, we're on our way out of New York and a Long Island Railroad less New York. Hopefully when I return, getting back here on the evening of the 26th off the Pennsylvanian, most likely, the Long Island Railroad will be back up and running. I can't imagine this lasting too long. Beautiful day here. It's very warm, in the 80s, but I had a wonderful, relaxing time in the lounge for several hours. That was great. Had a nice meal, drinks, just relax. Once in a while, I have to treat myself to something good. I mean, my wife went to the Philippines. I was going to go with her. I kind of lost interest as we got a little closer to departure. And I just was itching to go back to Chicago, so decided I'd treat myself, and here we are. Gonna travel sleepers both directions for the most part. The only part I'm not covering by sleeper is the Pennsylvania from Pittsburgh to New York. I rebooked it to the 25th out of Chicago on 41 to Pittsburgh and the Pennsylvania to New York because train 48 on that Sunday, the 25th, was canceled from Chicago to Toledo, which means as a sleeper passenger I'd have to stoop so low as to ride on a bus in the middle of the night to Toledo and then pick up the train there. That was too much for my self-respect to take, so I stayed one extra day in Chicago. sure I'll find plenty to do there. In the meantime, I'll try to enjoy this ride on one of Amtrak's premier trains, the Lake Shore Limited, from New York to Chicago. All right, we just crossed over the bridge over the Harlem River, approaching CP12 over into the Metro North Hudson line. Nice day, warm. It's about 84 degrees outside. Well, there's a Tappan Zee Bridge coming into Tarrytown. This train makes Croton, Harmon, Poughkeepsie, Rhinecliff, and then Albany, where we pick up our Boston section. And we combine west the rest of the way to Chicago. We're going to have dinner at 7:30. Going to have the beef paprikash. Choices on the menu aren't really much to my liking, but it's the lesser of several evils. So the attendant is going to bring it to my room. We're at Croton Harmon now, and I was programming radio frequencies so I could hear radio chatter on the line further down. And while I was doing that, I missed seeing the OCS train, the CSX OCS train, with an F40 and a P42 attached to it. We're approaching the Bear Mountain area. Bright sun. Seems like I've seen a lot of the Hudson line lately. But I'm doing this big time. Riding the route of the 20th Century Limited, but I don't have any kind of resemblance to Cary Grant. Not much, anyway. Well, down the hall, this is what a bedroom looks like. Going for the Manitou Grade Crossing. Oh, here's one of the new Viewliner diners. These look pretty nice. They have a limited selection. It's not like full dining on the Western trains. Well, we just arrived at Albany Rensselaer. Had a nice ride up the Hudson so far. Well, that's as far as we're going to go, actually. This is the Boston section off of train 449. A Viewliner sleeper and a couple of Amfleet 2 cars. Person might panic that the train took off, but he's going to reverse. The front of the train will become the rear of the train when it leaves Albany, and it will be combined with the 449 section. Well, here comes 49's equipment. He just went through the Y. He's coming back into the station reversed. My sleeper right there. Viewliner 62026. It has no name. This one, 62039, is the Maumee River. We'll be passing over that around Toledo tomorrow morning. And here's Diner Columbus and 3 Amfleet 2 cars. Loaded. This train is completely sold out. There goes 449's equipment with our 2 P40s that'll take us to P42s that'll take us to Chicago. You'll couple on to the back of these Amfleet 2 cars. So in essence, you'll have 2 P42s, a Viewliner from Boston, a sleeper, 2 Amfleet 2 cars, plus the 3 Amfleet 2 cars from 49, the Diner, and the 2 Viewliner sleepers. Getting ready to connect 449's equipment into 49 to make one solid 49/449.
I go a little bit back. I gotta go this way. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Don't want to hamper his the performance of his duties.
Give me 1.5, car.
You can hear him radioing the engineer on the car lengths to make a coupling.
You guys want to work no more? Give me 1 car. Nice thing. Yeah. 20 feet, nicely. Shit, I'm spitting my bad. Somebody down there. Give me 10 more feet, nicely. 5 more feet. Give me 2 more. Good on the hits. Okay to take your west for the first stretch.
Folks, if you're boarding a
Good on the
reboard,
first
you're gonna board
stretch.
up here.
449. Okay to take it west for a second stretch.
This fellow is very animated, good-natured. I think he knows he's on camera.
449, good hits, good double stretch. I'm the test myself for your crew. You have a good trip, man.
And you have a good night, sir. Well, 49's power that came in here from New York is detached. He's heading for the house. We're one longer train now to Chicago.
Buffalo to Kew, Erie, Cleveland, Elyria, Sandusky, Toledo, Bryan, Waterloo, Elkhart, and South Bend. Passengers should proceed to track. Please remove any travel documents from their envelope and have them ready for scanning by the conductor. Thank you for choosing Amtrak.
Track, I heard? What is that? All right, 7:05, right on time. We're pulling out of Albany.
There's absolutely no smoking and no vaping on board the train at any time, folks. No smoking, no vaping on the train. There are 2 stops and 2 stops only for smoking and vaping, folks. One of which is in Syracuse at around 9:50. The second stop for smoking is in Cleveland, Ohio, around 3:50 a.m. 2 stops only, Syracuse and Cleveland, for smoking and vaping.
I don't think I'll be up for Cleveland.
If you move around the train, folks, you must have shoes on. You must wear shoes if moving about the train for your safety. The cafe is not open yet, folks. The cafe is not yet open. We'll make it
Okay, we're crossing over the Hudson River. We'll kiss it goodbye. This is the Lab Movable Bridge, or Livingston Avenue Bridge for short. Okay, our maximum speed the rest of the way to Chicago that we can attain is 79 miles an hour. At CP Hoffman, CP 169, west of Schenectady. We're joining up with CSX. We're around milepost 171, approaching Amsterdam. We have a female engineer. I have it programmed on the CSX road channel. They're calling out signals. It's required that they call out every signal, and the conductor responds. So we'll listen to them call out a few signals around the Amsterdam area. You got 173 and you got 175. It's about 7:47 p.m. That's New York State Route 5 there. This part, CSX calls out signals, and later on in the journey when we get out towards Indiana, actually from Cleveland.
49 with the engine 97 cleared, CP 173, 1-1.
Secretary 1 was cleared.
You hear that? Norfolk Southern follows the same practice. There's a controlled siding that ends at CP 175. We'll hear her call out that signal as well. Getting kind of dark, but he's approaching Fonda. We'll call out the signals at the east end and west end of Fonda. Fonda's a place that I used to hang out at also. There's a couple of, it had 2 crossings, but now it only has 1. It's a controlled siding that goes right through Fonda. I think the interlockings are 184 and 188. But don't quote me. Radio charters suggesting a CSX freight is out there. The This area here is Tribes Hill. I've rail fanned this area in a number of places back in Conrail days.
With the engine 97 clear, CP 184, 11.
CP 184. You'll see the controlled siding over here on the right here. This is CSX freight coming east on track number 2. You won't see it. There's a controlled siding. That's the nice thing about this private room. I can
Section track 2 east, 184, clear shift 69 well.
I should be having a CSX freight pass us shortly. There it is. I can hear that roar. The Lake Shore Limited probably traverses the highest ratio of high freight train density trackage on its run from end to end than any other Amtrak train. There are others that go through areas of heavy freight traffic density, but it's only maybe a fraction of the entire journey. But on the Lake Shore Limited, you're on a heavy freight density trackage from CP 169.
Track 49 clear, 186, 11.
Basic 1 mile clear.
From 169 virtually all the way to Chicago. That's about 820 miles. This is Fonda. I've spent many a time here. Should be calling out the signal for CP 188. As soon as she sees the signal, she calls it out. She may be far away from it yet, but she obviously has very good vision, which you really need to do that job. .188 is where the siding ends. I didn't hear her call it out. We'll stop until later. Tomorrow morning on NS, I'll try to get more radio chatter from South Bend into Chicago. Okay, we got a detector here. Should be reading it out again after we pass over it.
CSX detector, milepost 188.8, track main 1, no defects. Repeat, no
Amtrak 49, no defects, Stone Ridge, clear, CP 18811.
Roger, clear, no defects, Stone Ridge, man.
Now we're in Syracuse now. We got here right on time at 9:50. This is a smoke stop. We're here for like 15 minutes, I think. It's warm out. It's 70 degrees here in Syracuse. Well, it's 4:32. We've arrived in Cleveland. We're running about 38 minutes late. We stopped east of here at Painesville for a while. I'm not really sure why we did that. Over there, you're looking at the Browns Stadium, and there's the Cleveland Rapid Transit right there. Amtrak Cleveland is busy at this time of night. You have the Lake Shore Limiteds and the Floridians both serving it.
Like that, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it, you know, it's just like a computer. It always goes down, so.
Yeah. Well, here we change railroads. CSX to NS.
Right.
I mean, this is a busy place in the middle of the night.
Yeah, all our trains come through here.
Yeah. I think it's too early for the transit to run. Time to be up in Cleveland, but it's one of my favorite cities. This crew does Buffalo to Toledo. Well, I got almost 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time as we're going along Lake Erie region here, around Sandusky. Beautiful. This is where the train gets its name, the Lake Shore Limited. Right around here, we're near that famous amusement park, Cedar Point. Over a few drawbridges. Back in '91, I was rail fanning out here, and there were people fishing right in those rocks.
49 clear, 248, 1 west.
We're on milepost 248. This crew goes from Buffalo to Toledo. I think this area here is called Port Clinton, Ohio. CP248. Yeah, the horn on this number 97, which is a significant number in railroad history. You've heard of that song, The Wreck of Old 97. Well, let's hope this 97 doesn't experience the same fate. P42 97 has a K5LA. It seems like you can mainly hear the high bells more than the low ones. It has a weird sound. Well, we're near Port Clinton back there. We went over Sandusky Bay. We're west of Sandusky. We're by the water. Coming up to Port Clinton, we'll be going over another drawbridge. A little bit more of a seascape there. This is Port Clinton. Nice little town.
49 clear. Take 1 west.
Port Clinton, Ohio. Lake Erie's right out there. One nice seaside town we passed way back between Cleveland and Elyria was Vermilion. That's a beautiful town. 2 NS lines go through there. It's loaded with canals, nice beach, nice little quaint little town. Well, this is the famous rail fan town of Oak Harbor, Ohio. The Norfolk Southern line crosses over. Not terribly far from Toledo, where the crews get changed. I think that's a smoke stop also. It's looking more and more like the Midwest out here. Yeah, I believe this is a connection between the NS track, the old nickel plate, and this former New York Central that was built as part of the Conrail split. CP 286. And it's the 18th of May and lots of honeysuckles out here. We don't normally get them on Long Island until June. Okay, coming up to the Maumee River Bridge, CP Maumee. This is downtown Toledo. Platforms at Toledo Central Terminal look very similar to the platforms at Buffalo Central Terminal that they're trying to revive, not as a passenger station but as a commercial center. Served by the Floridian and the Lake Shore Limited. Years ago, it was served also by the Pennsylvanian. Also was served by the Lake Cities, which ran from here to Chicago via Detroit. That's been gone for a long time. All right, we're arriving Toledo Central Terminal. You can see the station tracks here have seen better days. Typical New York Central style station. I got 550, actually 653. We're in Toledo. We have a freight train. That line over there heads up towards Detroit. The old Amtrak Lake Cities went that way.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 309.5, track 1, no defects. Repeat, no defects.
Soon they're going to have to change all those detectors to read Union Pacific. And this is the community of Delta, Ohio.
Track 49, clear 312, 11.
You definitely know where you are as far as the mileposts go from this engineer. Pulls out every signal. Delta. Next town up is Wauseon. There's an old New York Central depot standing there. Well, we're east of Wauseon, Ohio. Cruising down probably some of the best track Norfolk Southern has. We're about 76 miles an hour. Okay, we're approaching Wauseon, Ohio. A lot of these towns still have standing New York Central stations. This one is no different. Delta had one, I missed it. I know Stryker has one up ahead. Keep an eye out for it. It's after the railroad crossing. Downtown Marcion, Ohio.
Track 49, clear 321.
Right here's the main drag. There it is. Looks beautiful. I've hung out in that park a couple of times.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 320.0, track 1, no defects. Repeat, no defects.
Well, this is the town of Archbold, Ohio. I don't think this has a station. The next town is Stryker. I know that one does. No, nothing here. Yeah, doesn't look like the northeastern U.S. anymore. It's a lot like Illinois, Indiana, Iowa. Although we do go through a part of Indiana on this train that doesn't look anything like this. Otis Hill. It's very wooded. Looks like Pennsylvania up there. I love rail fanning on Otis Hill. And we're coming into Stryker. This is a popular rail fanning spot. Trains are really moving through here. And there's a still standing New York Central Depot here. And from Stryker to Butler, track is straight as an arrow. Back in 1966, the M497, a rebuilt RDC car with a jet engine, traveled at 183 miles an hour on that stretch. Unbelievable. Even the next gen Acellas don't travel that fast. And you could probably have gotten a good window seat no matter where you sat. All right, this is Stryker. Look for the depot. Here it is. Stryker. It's a grain elevator. It's very photogenic. This time of the day would be great for eastbounds. Shortly we'll be stopping at Bryan, Ohio.
Milepost 350.3, track 1, no defects.
We're approaching Edgerton, Ohio, the last town in Ohio. Shortly we'll cross the border into Indiana, and there's a signal right at the border, that I do know.
Norfolk, milepost 350.31, no defects.
Any station at Edgerton? There's a nice little park.
Track 49, clear 352.
All right, his next signal that he'll call out will be at the state line. $4.49 out here for a gallon of gas. Gee, I wonder how that happened. Can't possibly fathom how that happened. All right, the state line is coming up pretty soon into Indiana. The highway we're paralleling is US Route 6. You take that east far enough, it'll take you to Provincetown, Massachusetts, on the tip of Cape Cod. It's a very scenic drive through the state of Pennsylvania, I might add. The state line signal should be coming up soon.
Amtrak 49, clear 355.
That should be it. Should see indicators of a state line on the road. You might even see a marker on the railroad. Indiana, welcome to Indiana. Shortly we'll be passing through Butler, Indiana. At Butler, the old Wabash Railroad crosses on a diamond. And soon after that we'll come to Waterloo station stop. Excellent place to watch trains, at night especially with lights. I made a neat all-nighter at Waterloo back in '97 under Conrail. I'm going to post that pretty soon. A much better version of the one I previously posted. Slowing down. I think there's a speed restriction for the Diamond in Butler.
Clear 358, 1
All right, we're coming up to the Diamond. The old Wabash from Detroit to St. Louis and Kansas City. A lot of trains go through this town. Here it is. There's the connector track that they built with the Conrail split. All right, we're coming into a special town, at least as far as I'm concerned, and rail fans love it too. Waterloo, Indiana. This station does good business as it's near Fort Wayne. It serves the Fort Wayne metro area. Waterloo has a nice old station and a park. You'll see it before we come into the Amtrak station. And it's a great place to spend the night. It's all lit up. Lots of Conrail freights ran through when I was there years ago. I'm sure NS still puts on a good show. You know, the interlocker here is CP367. Waterloo. Yeah, there's a park, and look at the old depot they have. They've restored it. It was a crew base for the Capital Limited. I wonder if it's still a crew base for the Floridian since it takes the same route. Right. Keep an eye out for the old Waterloo station. It's in a park. Yeah, here it comes.
49, give me 3 cars, 3. 2 more cars, 2.
And here it is right here.
1 more car.
Wow, look at that. They did a nice job.
Amtrak 49, that'll do.
Nicely restored. That's not the Amtrak depot. That's more of a historical monument, historical relic for the community. All right, we're departing. Evidently no sleeper business to or from Waterloo. See if the station has changed much. Just a platform with lights. Lights it up pretty good too. Got some beautiful shots of the Conrail trains rushing through here at night. Milepost 367. It's a crossing up here with a really nice old house. Next stop is Elkhart. The Elkhart webcam. I gotta pose for the Elkhart webcam. That's ancient. Sounds like the engineers calling the dispatcher.
Yes, sir. Amtrak 49 with the engine AMTK 97, the 97. We are west on 1 track, like permission by your conditions outside. That's outpost 417.34, and I will gonna need to give you a call for a restart. We're at the Elkhart station.
Talking to a construction gang, maintenance gang.
Roger, Amtrak 49, engine AMTK 97, SD99 is permission by his condition outside 417.34, west direction, number 1 track, maximum authorized speed, and give you a call when we're ready to leave Elkhart Station. Over. Roger, thank you, sir.
Okay.
417.34, track 1 west up to Elkhart. Max speed, and then give them a call for a restart. Over.
That is correct.
Well, at 8:25, I think we go on Central Time here. We're passing a Canadian National Freight train heading west. CN crosses Norfolk Southern here at South Bend, the home of Notre Dame University. South Bend isn't much for having downtown train stations. The South Shore Railroad pulled back their tracks years ago to a point where the Amtrak station is today.
Clear, 437, 1 west, arriving.
Well, there's the old South Bend Union Station right there. Served the Grand Trunk Western and New York Central. From here it's about 90 minutes to Chicago. That street right there, going left to right, that's where the old South Shore line did the street running into downtown South Bend. That was pulled back to this station at Bendix. This is the Amtrak station today. The South Shore line doesn't even serve here anymore. It used to. Now it goes to South Bend Airport. All right, I got 9:20. I got 8:22. I'm sorry, 8:32.
Track 49 departing. South Bend Station.
About 25 minutes late. There's padding in the schedule, so we should get into Chicago early. Should see the South Shore line coming in over here on the right shortly. You can see the old catenary poles. Enjoy the ride to Chicago and hear the engineer call out the signals.
Track 49 clear, 441 west.
There's where the current South Shore line joins up. The line in the foreground is the original line that went to Bendix. And years ago to downtown South Bend. We have it right here with live wires. Serving South Bend Airport.
Track 49 clear, 4421 west. Track 49 clear, 4441 west.
This Norfolk Southern line that we're on right now is among the busiest in the country. See a lot of foreign power on this line, on trains that go out of Elkhart to Western Railroad connections. In addition to what Norfolk Southern runs, you also have CPKC trackage rights on this line, plus the Amtrak trains. And west of CP 482 at Porter, you get the Michigan Amtrak trains thrown in too. Plus some CSX trains. And the line through Otis Hill that we'll be passing through in a little while, it's probably one of the more scenic locations where you can go for rail fanning that sees a huge traffic density. South Shore looks pretty well engineered. I know they can really scoot. They run a fleet of Sumitomo cars, and they have those Nippon Chariot bilevels. They leased a bunch of Nippon Chariot bilevels for
Norfolk Southern, milepost 445.1, track 1, no defects.
So there's more opportunities for bilevels, and they provide the cab rides.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 445.1, track 1, no defects. Track 49 clear, 4461 west. NSF 452.
Something activated something out there. South Shore does a considerable freight business. They have their own fleet of GP38-2s, painted orange. Thank you.
Track 49 clear, 4481 west.
grain is big business out here. And there's a little GE switcher there.
Track 49 clear, 458, 111.
The 458 he's mentioning is the mileage from Buffalo, New York, via the old New York Central route. Not the route this train, well, this train takes that route, but the Norfolk Southern freight trains don't.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 458.2, track 1, no defects. Norfolk Southern, milepost 458.2, track 1, no defects. Track 49 clear, 461 west.
Shortly after we go past, we'll go through LaPorte, and we'll go through the
Track 49 clear, 463 at 11.
go through LaPorte, and then go through Pinole, and then we'll enter the Otis Hill area. This is LaPorte, Indiana here. CP 463. Should be near the community of Pinole, Pinole. That's pretty much the eastern end of Otis Hill, and Burdick is the west end. As you can see right here, it's a pretty scenic, wooded area here, uncharacteristic for Indiana. Man, the honeysuckles are out in force here. Pinola Saloon. It's Pinola, not Pinole. Right here we enter the Otis Hill area. Great place to take photos.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 467.3, track 1, no defects.
Heavy traffic density and beautiful wooded scenery. Something you don't find in Indiana.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 467.3, track 1, no defects.
Yeah, the eastern ascension of Otis Hill is not as steep as the west end. Eastbound trains can stall on it, believe it or not.
Track 49 clear, 46911. There's an overpass where a lot of shots have been taken of trains fighting up the grade here. Yeah, this is really nice through here. That's the Indiana toll road overhead. Track 49 clear, 461, 471, 11. thick woods. In the fall, this is outstanding. Foliage here is incredible. There I've driven on, it takes you into the village of Otis by this railroad crossing. A couple of houses there. We're going down the west slope of the Otis Hill here. There's a nice pull-off where you can park your car right by milepost 474. I stood there 4 years ago and saw a eastbound NS stack train with a one Union Pacific ST70 ACE. There it is right there, pulling up the grade. Shortly, we'll be going through Chesterton, Indiana. That's the site of another virtual railfan webcam. There's a Railfans Inn there, which I once mistakenly thought was a restaurant. I'm in a Railfan chat group with Railfans and some employees, and we have one member of our chat group. His name is Ian. I mean, we're all in the New York area, and he's sending messages in the chat group. Oh, train 21Z is about to pass by Chesterton. You know, stuff like that. Like we can all go out and watch it, you know, after about maybe an 18-hour drive. He's always telling what trains are coming to Chesterton. We're all in Long Island, New York City, like we can get there. It's a great spot though. It's a popular webcam. Yeah, one time he
Norfolk Southern, milepost 476.8, track 1, no defects.
Track 49, advance approach 476, advance approach.
Advanced approach. I know we're coming to Porter pretty soon. A lot of things happen there. That's CP 482. texted me like 1 o'clock in the morning. Hey, there's a coal train going through Chesterton with 4 BNSF SD-70 ACEs. I said, who cares? I want to go to sleep. What a crazy chat group. I'm slightly exaggerating that, but he does always alert us to these trains going through Chesterton. Like we could just walk out the front door and see them. You can just about see anything on this line. BNSF, UP, CPKC. CN isn't that far away in Wellsboro.
Track 49, clear 479. On Patrick.
All right, no advanced approach anymore.
46 over.
Roger.
You'll know when we get to Chesterton, you'll see an old station with a couple of old South Shore MU cars built alongside the building. They're like extensions. There was some kind of a restaurant at one time, but not anymore. I think we're coming up to Chesterton now. See if we can see those old South Shore MUs. The old orange cars. I rode on them once to South Bend. This is it. Yeah, right there. See them? Relics. Yeah, I did have the chance to ride on them. I hope to ride on them on this trip. Not those, but the Nippon Chariot bi-levels are what I'm mainly interested in seeing. And I want to try out that new line they just opened, the Dyer. Soon we're approaching a big junction, CP482 at Porter, Indiana. You'll see 2 tracks join us on the right. One is the old Pier Marquette, now CSX. Right after that is the Michigan Central, the old Michigan Central from Detroit. Used by Amtrak. Man, that track looks bad, the CSX. There's the Michigan Central right there. CP482 Porter. I rail fan there in 1992 when it was a big hot spot for fans. People were everywhere. Conrail finally had to put a stop to it because people were having barbecues there, picnics. Oh, it was a wild place. When I was there, people were playing music on loudspeakers and everything. Oh, here's Interstate 94 right here. Right after that is a crossing. Yeah, Porter was a happening back in Conrail days. Saw a ton of trains pretty much around the clock. During the day it was manifest freights, CP, CSX, Amtrak. At night all the TV trains went through.
Track 49, clear 431.
CP483. Pretty soon we're getting into steel mill country. Bethlehem Steel, Burns Harbor, Gary, Indiana. Steel mills dying there, but they're building casinos to try to rake in money.
Track 49, clear 45.
Well, there's the South Shore line up there with the catenary, see it? He'll be paralleling us on that side. CP 485. I think this is Burns Harbor right here. See some, oh, look at this power.
On point! Back to new.
All GP60s. Man, this place is loaded with GP60s. Wow. Great. South Shore is paralleling us on the left-hand side of the train.
Track 49, clear 487, northwest.
It's a busy facility. Steel back there. Not too far from a popular recreational area here. Ogden Dunes or Indiana Dunes State Park. I think it's a national park. Right on Lake Michigan. On a clear day, you can see the Chicago skyline in the distance.
Track 49 clear, 488 1 west.
I'm gonna see if I can try to spend a good part of a day at Ogden Dunes, South Shore. Get them and NS trains. I got tickets for a Cubs game on Saturday. Got a great seat in the left, upper left field grandstand. Unobstructed. They're playing the Houston Astros. All I can say is, go Cubs go, go Cubs go. Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. They've been winning lately. And going to Wrigley Field is a happening unto itself. The neighborhood is just revitalized. They call it Wrigleyville. All kinds of restaurants and souvenir shops. I gotta check that out. It looks really electric there.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 490.0, track 1, no defects.
I'm getting Excedrin headache number 1 if I
Hello, folks.
lift
Southern,
that.
milepost 49.01.
It's the only way to travel. I don't feel like flying. Got our super attendant here. Oops. Did a great job, buddy. What really impresses me is punctuality. Whenever you say you're going to deliver the food, that's when you deliver the food.
Yeah.
Not like next Tuesday.
Yeah. You know, but if I was late, it's because of them, not me.
Yeah.
I'm in there waiting on them. I'm waiting on the food. I'm like, let's go.
You're at the mercy of the cooks. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it was good though.
maybe I should give them a tip. Nah,
It was good. It was
you're good enough.
I'm on top of them, so that's why I kept
You
on
were.
top.
You were
Yes, sir.
meticulous, diligent.
Had to stay on top.
All right. That was our sleeping car attendant. It was great. If you're riding on Amtrak on a sleeper, you get really good service, let them know you appreciate it. Don't just say, oh, you did a good job and that's it. Show it in a materialistic sense. Yeah, this part here is rather rustic. But once we emerge from this, it's going to look very industrious and urban the rest of the way into Chicago. We should be early there.
Thanks, sorry, this is Betcho.
94, 1 West.
SMS group. Yeah, it's getting very industrial now. Yeah, there's the steel mills back there. Gary, Indiana, steel mills. That song, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana. Paris, France, New York, or Rome. But Gary, Indiana, my home sweet home. First time I heard that song, I was about maybe 9 years old in Marydale Day Camp on Long Island. When I heard that song, I said, wow, Gary, Indiana must be a beautiful place. U.S. Steel, Gary Works. Made Gary seem like Mayberry. You should see Canadian National's Kirkyard over here. There's a grade crossing. I think it's Clark Road. Crosses CSX, the old B&O. This line goes under CN.
Track
Kirkyard.
49, clear. 497, 1 West.
CN's Kirkyard is where all the manifest freights on the Canadian National go in and out of in the Chicago area. They all go through Griffith. Now let's see if we see anything interesting here. Oh, I see some EJ&E switches. Look at that back there. That's part of CN's family now. Yeah, this is Kirkyard here. Gary Works U.S. Steel. Man, they're still prominent. Pretty important facility, Kirkyard. See some kind of weird locomotive down there.
Track 49 clear, 498, 1 west.
And look at that. It's painted in a old reminiscent of an old Canadian Pacific scheme. Yeah, here's the famous Clark Road crossing here. CN over there, NS here, and CSX on the other side. From what I gather, you can rail fan there. There was a time when it was off limits, but I think it's back. The CN goes over the top of us here.
Polk Southern, milepost 499.3, track 1, no defects.
Almost 500 miles from Buffalo. CP 500.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 499.3, track 1, no defects.
I think this is the approximate area of Pine Junction.
Track 49 clear, 501, 1 west.
Pine Junction is where trains go off and go down towards the Indiana Harbor Belt and the B&O CT. Baltimore and Ohio, Chicago terminal that was. Now it's just CSX. Remember how I was telling you that this area makes money with casinos? I think there's one coming up here. It's just a hotel. Ameristar? Kind of cloudy here today. I see something moving back there with a white brow on Norfolk Southern. It's like GE junk.
Track 49 clear, 502 clear, 503, 1 west.
Well, he's telling you what interlockings are here. There's a big mill here. You can stand on this bridge and watch them switch the mill. See all kinds of locomotives cars of hot metal. I don't see anything going on there now. CP 502. I know you can take a track south from here that goes down towards Gibson Yard and Hammond. There used to be an old tower at the junction of that line in CSX. I can't remember the name of it, but it's gone now. CP 503. There's Hick Tower. Canal. I used to have a supervisor whose last name was Hicks. Man, she was beautiful. She was a knockout. I couldn't get much work done when she was around. I don't think she could get much work done when I was around. I remember when they were assigning us working in the office to work at home. She comes running up to me and says, I think you should apply for work at home. Okay, yeah, I know you want to get rid of me. Okay. Oh, she was something. She was gorgeous. She was a nice person, too. I think that's what enamored me to her, in addition to, yeah. I haven't seen her in 20 years.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 503.7, track 1, no defects. Norfolk Southern, milepost 503.7, track 1, no defects.
See some Union Pacific steel container cars. Steel shields. Building America.
Track 40, 9 clear, 504,
504. Well, here's the back of a coal train. It's got a rear end device on them. Tell you, Chicago's the railroad capital of America. If the excuse me, if the UP takeover of NS goes through, it's going to completely change interchange policies here. Traffic through Chicago may take alternate routings, like the Wabash route. That's going to be very important after that happens. Although I'm sure Chicago will still be a very important place on the Union Pacific. They have a number of yards. They have Proviso Yard, the old Northwestern Yard. They have Yard Center, the old Missouri Pacific Yard. I'm sure those will still be important. Yeah, we got a couple of CSX Givos. We're not too far from Lake Michigan. Oh, I can see downtown Chicago now. Way off in the distance across the lake.
Amtrak 40. 9, clear, 506 west.
Okay, right here we're going around this S-curve. We're coming off the old New York Central alignment into Chicago and entering the former Pennsylvania Railroad alignment into Chicago. It jogs between the right-of-ways. And we're approaching the Hammond-Whiting Amtrak station, which only sees limited service with Michigan trains. The long-distance trains used to stop here, but they don't anymore. Yeah, there's a casino here. Here's the Hammond-Whiting station. And Horseshoe Casino. This is Hammond, Indiana, practically in Illinois at this point.
Advance approach, 517 runway. Advance approach.
All right, we were sitting here for 15 minutes or so waiting for the drawbridge was up. Finally got the limited clear signal to go. It was raining a bit a little while ago. There's some rain off to the west. Great. It's a 2-block walk to my hotel. See that dirt road over there? That's what was once the old New York Central main line into Chicago. Paralleled us into Englewood. The Broadway Limited and the 20th Century Limited, eastbound for New York, used to pull out at the same time from Englewood, and they used to race down this stretch. CP 509. At least I believe that's what that right-of-way is. I know right around here we crossed the Chicago Sanitary Canal. Chicago Skyway handles the Illinois Tollway into the city. This is CP 509. Here's the drawbridge we were victimized by. Through here must have went south. You can see the Willis Tower in the distance. Yeah, I'm sure sure this is the old New York Central right-of-way here, where the trains would race. They served Englewood Union Station, served by the New York Central, the Pennsylvania Railroad, and the Rock Island. There's no station there now, but the Rock Island used to cross this line at the Diamond, but they built a flyover for the Metro Rock Island District trains. Go over this. There were always delays. Yeah, this is the Englewood part of Chicago, not one of the better neighborhoods. If you were coming from New York on either New York Central or the Pennsy and you wanted to go out west, you didn't even have to go downtown. You just get off at Englewood and get on the Rock Island train.
Track 49 clear, 511 1 west.
We would have been early had it not been for that drawbridge at 509 up. We might actually get into Chicago a little bit late.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 511.6, track 1, no defects. Norfolk Southern, milepost 511.6, track 1, no defects.
Track 49 clear, 513 1 west.
CP 513. There's the Metro Electric down there, and the Canadian National, the old Illinois Central. Hope to ride on some of those. GE junk. No, not that one. SD70 ACE. Forgive me. I think this is the side of the old Conrail Englewood TV. Englewood Intermodal Terminal. It's starting to rain hard now. Oh, look at this. Yeah, this is Englewood Intermodal Terminal for NS.
Act 49 clear, 515, 1 west. I got a dispatch, over. Continue, over. Estonville, dorm, 17B. I'll get you ordered up, over. Thank you. Spectrum.
All right, right here is where Englewood Union Station used to be. The Pennsy platform was right outside the window here. New York Central is over there.
Amtrak 49, track 26. I got a lift getting off in the 12 car. I'll be back there. Just spotted over. Okay, I'll let you know when I'm down to have my car. Roger. Thank you.
There's the Dan Ryan Expressway down there, with Chicago in the background. That's the Dan Ryan subway, the red line. Heads up north through the city under State Street to Howard Street. There's another elevated line that'll head off to the loop. Yeah, this is Englewood. This is one of those neighborhoods you see on that Chicago PD TV series that keeps the police busy. Yeah, you want to stay out of this neighborhood. There are beautiful parts of the city of Chicago, but this is not one of them. The north side is really nice. The lakefront is nice. The western suburbs are nice, especially on the BNSF. LaGrange, Downers Grove, Hinsdale, Western Springs. train in order has the two P-42s, the Boston Viewliner Sleeper, two Amfleet 2 cars from the Boston section, then three Amfleet 2 cars from the New York section, then the diner, snack car, diner cafe car, and two more Viewliner sleepers and a baggage car.
Track 49 clear, 518 1 west.
Shortly, we're coming up to the new Comiskey Park, the home of the Chicago White Sox. They've been pretty awful as of late. Meanwhile, that other team on the north end, the Cubs in beautiful Wrigley Field, they're playing very well. Cubs always have had a lot of charm in this town. White Sox play at a distant second fiddle, I think. It's a nice stadium. Look at that. They just never turned me on the way the Cubs did. Or do.
Norfolk Southern milepost 518.7. Track 1, no defects.
49 clear, 519 going 13. That's 13.
Somehow, Gary Peters and Joel Horland could never compare with Billy Williams and Ernie Banks. Joel Horland and Gary Peters, they were good pitchers back in the day. And they had Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. Chicago White Sox had some horrible uniforms. Oh my God. The black and white.
13.
The shorts. What were they thinking? I like those uniforms that had the trim with the word Sox written on it. That wasn't bad, but generally the Cubs have always pretty much kept the same uniforms. The pinstripes always looks good.
49 clear, 21st Street.
21st Street. That's where NS ownership ends and it becomes part of Chicago Terminal. Oh, coming into Union Station. There's the Willis Tower there. Going to be a little late thanks to that drawbridge. I got 10:17. I'm going to be a few minutes late. No big deal. Great ride. Coming in on track 26.
Glass house in at 1020 1020 over.
About half a car now, over.
Roger. That'll do.
We have arrived. We got 1019. Welcome to Chicago. Here we are in the grandiose Chicago Union Station. Chicago has always had this station. Once served the Pennsylvania Railroad, the Gulf Mobile in Ohio, the Milwaukee Road, and the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy. This is sort of harkening back to New York, Pennsylvania Station. But unfortunately, they had that horrific act of vandalism and tore that down from Madison Square Garden. Happily, this building did not suffer the same fate. I mean, we have the Moynihan Train Hall in New York now, but even that doesn't compare with this. This is the hub of the United States. You can go to just about anywhere in the United States out of this building. It's beautiful. The Metropolitan Lounge. This is their VIP lounge for Amtrak passengers. Since I traveled here on a sleeper from New York, I was entitled to come into the Metropolitan Lounge and take advantage of their shower facilities, and boy, did I need it. Had a nice, cool shower and freshened up, changed my clothes, felt fresh as a daisy afterwards. It's a great tool, a great addition to the Chicago Union Station.